No climate justice without Palestinian liberation. As we have heard from my colleague, more than 100,000 tons of bombs have been dropped on Gaza, exceeding the total amount of explosives used in World War II. Let that sink in a little bit. More than what have been dropped in World War II. Over 55,000 Palestinians, brothers and sisters, were brutally killed. And this comes with a very heavy heart to say. These are not only numbers. These are our families and our friends and our relatives who have lost their lives in a brutal manner in this genocide, in this ecocide, in this brutal, unprecedented tragedy that we are facing in Palestine, not only in Gaza, but also in the entire Palestinian land and against all Palestinians within Palestine and outside of Palestine. Energy exports are not a neutral form of trade. Coal, crude oil, and other energy sources are being used in Palestine as tools of oppression to sustain Israel's colonial regime of illegal occupation, of genocide, of apartheid. It is powering military vehicles, arms production, and Israel's murderous AI infrastructure. Water companies, on the other hand, and agribusiness, who claim to be at the forefront of sustainability, instead facilitate, profit from, and greenwash brutal settler-colonial occupation using the language of sustainability and climate justice. As environmental, climate, and social justice movements and organizations preparing for the COP30 and mobilize to confront the disaster of global climate change, we Palestinian environmental and grassroots organizations, justice movements, and civil society coalitions urgently call solidarity, ending complicity, and action for meaningful accountability that place Palestinian demands and liberation at the heart of these mobilizations. We ask for 3 key practical steps to be taken in order to translate the sentiments of support, which is very important and very needed for our people in Palestine and outside, that they know that we're not alone, and for this support to be translated into proper actions and also address the intersectionality between climate justice and Palestinian liberation. So what are those very clear demands that we also invite everyone and urge everyone in the social movement, environmental movement, civil society, and all our partners, our true partners that understands what suffering is, to be joining us to do. So 1, join the call for a global energy embargo for Palestine. How do you do that? You demand that the COP30 host government, Brazil, and all crude oil and refined products exports to Israel. You mobilize locally, especially in the US, Colombia, Brazil, South Africa, Azerbaijan, Nigeria, Italy, Cyprus, Greece, to demand the end to the transfer of coal, crude oil, and petroleum to Israel, and pressuring energy corporations that are most implicit in supplying Israel during the genocide. Mobilize locally in Jordan, Egypt, and the EU, and other countries to demand an end to gas purchases from Israel and organize against those companies. The second demand, build a global coalition to end water apartheid. Mobilizing locally, especially in Argentina, Chile, Mexico, Azerbaijan, Morocco, Cyprus, Bahrain, and India, to terminate all agreements and collaborations on water projects with the Israeli company Mekorot. The Israeli war company is responsible for creating and maintaining water apartheid, and it is responsible for shutting off water to Gaza. And it prevents, and to ask for these countries to prevent signing any new agreements. Mekorot is, by the way, listed in the UN database of corporations involved in illegal business in Israeli colonial settlements in the occupied Palestinian territories as well. Water defenders at COP30, we urge you to include water apartheid in your advocacy, connecting with Palestinian groups working on the defense of water and mobilizing around this critical issue as part of the global struggle for water justice that we are all part of. Demand number 3, build and unite behind a global call to end the enabling and greenwashing of Israel's genocide, apartheid, and illegal occupation by agribusiness. Farmers, peasants, food sovereignty movements, and all those resisting the environmental, land, cultural, and livelihood destruction of big agriculture corporations, taking up and amplifying the call to end agribusiness complicity in illegal ethnic cleansing and occupation of Palestinian lands. Mobilize locally across the globe to divest from Netafim and terminate all agribusiness company alongside other agri-tech companies. Finally, mobilize locally against any corporation with Israeli corporations exporting agrotoxics, including Adama and Group, exporting pesticides and tested on land. At the time, radical and systematic through international party to include the in all occasions, take practical actions towards using them, and to reach out to Palestinian grassroots environmental organizations to build these things together. For the past 20 months, millions of Palestinians in occupied Palestine, particularly in Gaza, have endured the most extreme conditions: starvation, genocide, ecocide, ethnic cleansing, massacre, and torture. Believe me, it is not easy to see those as a Palestinian, but we are enduring that. And today, we have to do everything we can to stop this insanity with my people and yours. Thank you very much.